That's the doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly. We're here, the first show of 2020. Woohoo. I'm here with Canadian Glenn. What's up, Glenn?
Happy new disaster year to you and all the listeners. Meteor Strike 2020.
You said that on our last show, which was in December. So yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, today's show, we're just going to talk about whatever the hell we want. So it'll be like one big tangent. So then in the future shows, we can be more structured and have the tangents out of our systems.
I like that'll work.
So how's everything in Canada? Which it might suck, but it's still better than where I'm at.
Well, it's February now. Temperatures are back to quote-unquote seasonal. The Arctic death grip has come and gone. Hopefully we don't get another one. And that's about it. You know, it's whatever. Everybody wants to bitch and complain about how our political leaders do yoga, and that's apparently not manly enough. And we just look over the border and it's like, yeah, whatever, bring it on. We'll talk about yoga all day long compared to what the fuck's going on down there.
Yeah, it's crazy here. We have two big corrupt ass fascist warmonger corporatist parties. And they're all full of a bunch of criminals. And one of those criminals is a president. A bunch of the other criminals are senators, and a bunch of the other criminals are Congress people. And then it goes all the way down through to the states and everything else. Criminals everywhere.
The American dream.
Man, it's disgusting. These people I keep seeing, they're gonna vote blue no matter who. You're just replacing one fascist with a kinder, gentler fascist. It's bullshit.
Well, that's true, but all fascists want to keep their job where they have to have an election to, you know, conceivably keep the job. You know, I mean, if you're talking about dictatorships, well, there's no vote anyway, so fuck you. But I mean, right now we still have this play that we go through for leaders. So I mean, you know, it doesn't matter if they're all the same and they're just one follows the other. The one that's in at the time wants to keep that fucking job as long as they can. So, you know, even just throwing them out before they're ready to go, that can cause some problems. So it's better than just rewarding them flat out. I mean, that's the other way I like to look at it when you have to, is that, yes, they're all criminals, but criminal A has already shown me the crimes he's willing to commit. Therefore, he is out of the game. Candidate B has not yet revealed those crimes to me. I am confident they are coming, but they have not yet occurred. So compared to criminal A, I'll go for the one that hasn't done it yet.
But the thing is, what you're saying is there's two crime families and they're both trying to extort me. But the new crime boss over here might be nicer about it. I haven't given him a chance yet from this family. I mean, come on, man. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. Why do these people get held to lower standards than fast food employees? Like if you're a fast food employee and you even screw up or whatever, you lose your job. These guys, why can't they lose their jobs? Some of them, like the Supreme Court here, They got jobs for life. That's ridiculous. No one should have a guaranteed job for life. Not when you can screw up and screw people over and do terrible things. You know what I mean? No. You should say, you have a job for life until you screw up, maybe. You have a job as long as you're serving the people's best interest, but not like whatever you do is good as long as it's not some terrible, illegal, crazy shit. Just go ahead and you can go against all the people's will, and you can stay in for 4 years. You guys can stay in for 6 years. You guys can stay in for 2 years. You guys get. What is this? There should be no term limits. If we want someone out, we just say, hey, sign a petition. Enough people sign, we take a vote, and they're out of there. All the way up to the president. It should be that simple. It's ridiculous, man. These people work for us, and I think they forgot that a long time ago.
No, I think that's a real good comparison, using a fast food worker, because, yeah, that's exactly it. And that's the pyramid that's been constructed. The higher on the pyramid you sit, the more fuck-ups you're allowed. That's what it seems like. And
it's worse than fuck-ups. These people are like robbing the business blind, and it's all good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm referring to a fuck-up as a ethical lack. Yeah, but I mean, it just seems that that's how it's become. And when the people below get conditioned to this feudal fucking mindset that because these people are rich, because they are politically connected, oh, well, they just get away with it. And like you said, you miss out an order of fries and you're fired. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't have to be like this. But
no, it really doesn't.
No, but people are just too unwilling to risk what little they think they have. And there are some that are motivated by other factors that just won't give a fuck about somebody because of who or what they are. So I mean, you can't really do much. Those people are just antisocial. They're not going to fit in no matter what. But it's just this inherent Hunger Games attitude that people just accept.
Yeah, but let's look at something else you said a second ago, that we haven't given these people a shot. We've given some of these people a shot. You know what I mean? A lot of them are senators. Like look at Joe Biden's had a shot. We know what he stands for.
Oh, he should be
Bernie
long
Sanders.
gone.
He signed the Clinton crime bill, and he voted for pretty much every war a Democrat tried. Every operation. He voted to fund the military for George Bush. He just didn't vote for the war.
Well, this is another huge problem, though, because this is just like going to your tri-county wrestling event. It's the same fucking wrestlers for 20 years. But people keep going. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, they all still suck, but they change up their spiel sometimes,
That's right. That's right. Sometimes they're a face, sometimes they're a heel. And then every once in a while there's a shoot. Oh, yeah. But most of it's a work, 24/7. Very kayfabe. That was the wrestling portion of the show.
I was going to say, is that wrestling talk or Canadian language?
No, that's wrestling talk.
Oh, yeah, because I know in Canada they speak English, French, and Canadian.
You got a problem with that, eh?
There you go. That's the Canadian. Oh, man. Yeah, they're so corrupt, dude. It's so terrible. And they're all corrupt. Like, why don't all the people in the world just be like, we're the people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what country you're in. Let's just, all go after our governments the same day, the same time. And just say, screw it.
Well, I mean,
Everybody
it's not...
shut the world down. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, it's not like it doesn't happen, because it does. It's just that when you're in the country of Big Brother, it's very hard for you to know about this shit going on around the world. I mean, look at South Korea. A member of the G20, one of the supposed, social democracies, they had millions of people on the streets for 6 weeks straight. And their government resigned. It can be done. And it doesn't have to be in what's considered the third world, and it doesn't have to be uber violent. It doesn't have to be.
See, the thing is, you need enough people where the police can't do anything. You know, even if they can't gas everybody, they can't attack everybody, they can't, you know, kettle everybody and round everybody up or arrest everybody, because there's not even enough cops to do that. You know, just shut everything down. Like, nothing's moving, no one's doing nothing. You know, we're out here until y'all do the right thing and resign and give us people that are going to do for us what we need done, or just let us vote on what we need. Like, just, you know, someone was saying, I think it was PM Beers was saying they should vote for policies, not people.
Yep.
You know, why are you voting for these people and these two parties? And it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if that wasn't the case, some fucking failed game show host like Trump would never be in politics. I mean, you know, making everything about a god, an image, an icon. And haven't people figured it out by now? All icons are fake because they're not static, you know? They mean different things to different people. So how is it a standard? Fuck off. But,
I can't in my right mind decide to vote for one of these jackasses. They're all fucked up, man. They're all terrible people.
Yeah.
They're all showing how terrible they are. And you're taking the best of the worst. You know, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Where else in life do you say, I'm going to hire the best of the worst? Like, I have my business here. I'm gonna, you know, open up a store or open up a factory or whatever. I'm gonna hire a bunch of doctors or scientists. I'm gonna hire the best of the worst. That's basically what we do with politics. We have these crap two people, and we have to choose between them.
Well, I mean, it's just like South Park. Douche and shit sandwich. It's exactly what it is, man. But again, you know, people just go along with it, or they don't play, which is, you know, even worse. So, you know, I don't know. Fuck, it's not like...
There's people that say, oh, if Obama was just president still, the fuck is wrong with them? Every one of these jackass presidents we've ever had are terrible people, you know?
Yeah, okay,
Obama killed a whole lot of brown people. Obama didn't do shit for a long time while they were the Dakota Access Pipeline. Obama said we got to stand with the police and a few bad apples when they were murdering black people in the streets. Obama bailed out banks. Like, the only good thing about Obama, like I always say, is the thing the Republicans hate. He was black. Being the first black president is like the only good thing he did. And he could have done that a lot better. He could have been like a not such a fascist warmonger, corporatist piece of shit. But whatever.
No, but see, when somebody says that, what are they judging it on? They're not judging it on the realities. They're not judging it as the United States.
They're judging it on he's probably
world.
the person you'd most want to chill with out of all the presidents. Yeah, he's the most normal. He's one of the best looking family. He looks like a human. You know what I mean? Look at Trump, for God's sake. Look at Dick Cheney and George Bush's, and they didn't look human. I mean,
no, but the thing is, it's because when Obama was president, they liked the way they felt. That's what it is. That's all it is. And this is what's wrong. People vote with their fucking feels. That's the dumbest thing in the world. It's like you're going to buy a car. Are you going to look at prices or options or anything or warranty, or are you just going to buy it on feels? How well is that going to work out?
I don't know, man, but here's the thing. I mean, it's like these people, what do we get for our tax dollars? Like, I don't get it. They buy bombs, they buy missiles, they buy tanks, they pay to send troops all over the goddamn world, headquarters everywhere, military equipment, militarized police, fund the police. And they give it these jackass people. They just keep doing the same thing no matter what party they're from.
But really, what opposition do they see from the people? What do they see?
They see the opposite party bitching about the other party. And if their party do the exact same thing, it's cool. I mean, look at this impeachment thing, dude. And look at the Clinton impeachment. Some of these same people were around. A lot of these same people were around. And you know what happened? What they're saying now on both sides is a 180-degree difference. It's just basically like they flipped. You know what? It's just like the Klan. The Democrats were with the Klan, now the Republicans are with the Klan. The Democrats were with the president, now the Republicans are with this president. No matter what, they'll be with their side. If Trump was a Democrat, the Democrats would be doing what the Republicans are doing now. You see what I'm saying? They're just disgusting people with their self-interest in their own bullshit parties.
Well,
like, look how corrupt the Biden shit is. And all the Democrats were like, well, he was cleared, he's cool. It's still corrupt as shit. You know what I mean? It's still corrupt as shit. But these people can't see that both of them are corrupt. Just because Biden might be corrupt, which has nothing to do with the Trump trial. You know what I mean? Trump and his kids are just as corrupt, maybe probably more. But be rest assured, both of them are fucking corrupt as shit. People don't seem to get that. They want to choose their side and apologize for their side, while demonizing the other side is doing pretty much the same thing in a different way.
Yeah,
the difference with Republicans is they're blatant racist pieces of shit. Democrats pretend to not be.
But what is all that based on? All of it is based on feels. This whole thing about, I mean, you know, being the northern neighbors and getting the next door view. For a long, long time in the U.S., the best way to sell anything under the sun is just make it a choice between A or B. That's all you have to do. And it doesn't matter if you're selling A or B. If you're the only two and it gets some heat, you're both going to be just fine. I mean, Coke, Pepsi, PC, Apple. You can go back and see this over and over and over. And now it's just politics now. That's all. It's with sports teams.
Yeah, you know what the other, it's disgusting all the way around. But you know what the other thing is? It's the money.
Oh,
they don't let people run. Like you said this before, Glenn. You was like, you have to be a special person and fitting, you know, to even try to run for one of these parties. But the thing about it is, they need to say no fucking lobbying. You can't get money from anywhere. Fuck, your campaign doesn't even need money, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to give anybody who wants to run from any party, even independent, an equal amount of television time.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it used to be.
Yeah, I know. And then we're going to give everybody so many commercials they can put up for free.
Yeah.
And the media is going to cover them equally. Only on their, you know what I mean? The media isn't going to go, and one media company isn't going to go grab a candidate because their backers are behind this guy, and the other one grabs this guy, and that's how you got Fox and MSN and fucking all that bullshit.
Well, Citizens United is 10 years old, which I find hard to believe because I remember when it happened. And it's unfolded pretty much the way everybody feared it would. And, you know, this is what you got now. And, yeah, it's fucking sad. But in the U.S. especially,
Citizens United is a terrible name because it's deceptive. See, people hear that and they say, oh, that sounds like a good thing. That's how they do shit too. They give these crazy names to shit that have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like, oh, this is helping the citizen. No, this is helping the corporations fuck you over. This is basically saying money is speech. You know.
You mean like Americans for Prosperity?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh my gosh, it's they do that with everything, and it's ridiculous.
But that's another bookmark of fascism.
Yeah, we need to do another one of the 14 tenets, an updated version now that Trump's in office. The last one we did was before we had speculated how things might go if Trump was in office, you know? But now we have a couple years, 3 years to... I mean, it was fascist before Trump. People think it wasn't. It was. It was fascist under Obama. People were going to prison for dissent. It was fascist under Bush. People were... He started locking up children, Iranian children. Obama expanded that. Bush started a war in Guantanamo Bay, the Patriot Act, and Obama kept all those going, even though he promised not to. See, politicians lie. All these politicians these people are listening to now, saying, listen to what they got to say. It's all bullshit. When they get in office, they're not going to do all that shit. They might do some of it, but look at Obama. He gave us bullshit health care. Still going with the corporate route to make sure that the rich keep getting paid. We pay taxes. Why can't we get health care? We pay taxes. Why can't we get free transportation and education? I'd rather have that than cops murdering people and military bombing people all over the world. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, there's
Corporate
been
welfare.
There's been lots of evidence about how much it realistically would cost to clean up some serious global problems. Like to actually have a very, very good chance of ending the cyclical famines that have happened in Africa and in Asia. To actually fix that shit is really not that much money when you look at, you know, the U.S. spending, what, $800 billion a year on their military. And when you could erase the repeating cycles of famine for maybe 5 billion a month for, 3 or 4 years, that's the U.S. military for a year. And look at the problem you will have solved. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious how the priorities are not humanistic, shall we say. So, I mean, there are people already, a lot of them, who say, well, just we're in North America or we're in Europe. We could be somewhere else. So, we'll just ride the fucking train until our stop comes. Yeah, and that's human nature, but it's also chicken shit and ignorant. But it's easy to get to that decision for most people because it's just based on emotion. And I'll do better for longer if we keep shitting on these people instead of them shitting on me.
Yeah, well, you don't decide where you're born, so maybe we should all take care of all people. I mean, it's getting to the point now where it's ridiculous, man. A lot of people in this country are really close to just being broke.
Yep.
Anything goes. They said, I think, over half or just under half the country can't deal with $1,000 emergency or something.
Yep.
It would devastate them. I mean, there's people, I don't know, man. There's people, like so many homeless people here. It's ridiculous.
And the war
it's
against them.
And then they put people, in the war against them. And then they put people in these jobs. They say, the market's getting so good. I mean, the economy's so great. The best in history, the best ever, as Trump and them say. There's people all in the streets, and they're working, a lot of them.
Yep.
You can get
Oh,
a
yeah.
job and you can't find a place to live that you can afford because all these new jobs are part-time, low wages, low as possible. 15 an hour isn't shit.
Yeah.
They make it seem like that's we got 15 an hour. That's nothing. Give people 25, 30 an hour because you're making billions off of them.
But see, there you go. I mean, you know, you talk about how 15 is not a living wage, and it's not. But it just shows you how bad it is and for how long it's been that bullshit bad, where 15 is a lot of money for these jobs in the market. That's what the real crime is.
And then what
You
they're
know?
going to do is, even though it's not the case, they're going to say, well, to pay these people more, we have to raise the prices on everything. Here's the secret though. They're not worried about paying those people more. They're worried about making sure their executives are getting their bonuses and not losing anything.
Oh,
The
yeah,
billionaires.
it's not coming out of their pocket. Fuck that.
So basically, because these billionaires are so greedy, they don't
Yep.
want to be a little bit less billionaire and let their people make money. They'll raise the prices of things so the people who work for them can't even afford where the fuck they work at. Shit, you know what I mean? It's disgusting, and it always goes like that, and it needs to be stopped. But nobody's gonna stop it
Well, I mean,
unless we stop it. And these people are weak, man. They out here trying to, you know. Oh my God, these celebrities are somewhere doing something right now. How could we have a revolution if we have to watch the new celebrity show or go to Kanye West church or whatever? Go see the Super Bowl. I don't know, but yeah, that stuff seems to be way more important.
well, you know, again, just control people's emotions and they'll do whatever you want. I mean, just about everybody in the world past the age of maybe 13 should know that that certainly happens in one-on-one relationships. So why shouldn't it happen society-wide? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much you can't do about people that don't want to learn.
I'm just wondering what percentage of the United States population has to be homeless before people are willing to fight back. I mean, it probably has to be pretty high because no matter what it is, people that aren't in that situation will be like, well, it's not me. I'll still stick with the other people, the rich, because I'll be rich one day, even though it'll be them 2 weeks later and they know it.
Yeah.
They buying lottery tickets or something.
Well, I mean, that's Dunning-Kruger, and, you know, I still stick to that as Dunning-Kruger 2020 is who's going to fucking win. So they've already won, but, you know, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I mean, I just don't see enough people willing to pay the price for an actual change in direction. They're just not willing.
Yeah. Man.
You know, I think about that other stuff too that was said in about other countries in certain different periods, but you know, the United States is starting to look like a place where 1/3 of the population is willing to kill another third of the population while the last third watches.
Exactly. And you know what that breeds, right?
Oh, yeah. Indeed I do, meine Kameraden.
Oh, man. Yeah, these people are stupid. It's like
So-
fight now or fight later, and y'all keep waiting. You keep waiting and waiting and waiting. It would have been a lot easier in the 80s or 90s.
See, now this is why I encourage people to consider the concept of Meteor Strike 2020. Problem solved for everybody.
Well, I guess it depends how big a meteor.
Well, hey, go big or go home.
Oh my God.
let's get something the size of the fucking moon or something. Like, let's make it happen.
So,
Then we're all good. Nobody has to worry about shit then. Nobody has any debts. It's all over.
there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, who are you being sponsored by today, Glenn? We forgot
today-
about that.
Today's sponsor is Blue Dream.
Blue Dream. Yeah, for flowers, for me, my sponsor today is GG4 and GSC. Well, Girl Scout Cookies and Gorilla Glue 4.
Well played.
Yeah. And then some wax and stuff, but
Details.
mix it up. Oh, man. So, yeah, what else? You know what? This, to change the subject, because I want to talk about this thing with the police here that happened. There was they murdered somebody named Victor Valencia, and it was this terror. They're covering it up. I watched this pretty much firsthand of this cover up. It started when they murdered the dude. I wasn't there right at that time. I got there about an hour or two after they murdered him. But first of all, it was Los Angeles Police Department. They murdered a dude in Culver City. They say it's on the border. It's the street. Like when you cross the street called Venice, when you cross on one side, you're in Culver City. Cross on the other side, you're in Venice. And the police ain't supposed to really, switch sides like that unless it's already happening on their side.
Yeah.
So I get over there. There's cops everywhere. They got the mobile command. They have detectives everywhere. All the streets are blocked off. Helicopter going around. And I'm like, why is a helicopter going around? They obviously know who the suspect is. He's a cop, and they're probably trying to cover up for him. Then before long, they had the media all start showing up. Like they were called to be there, right? So all these news crews show up pretty much at the same time. A couple of them were already there, but all these other ones showed up. They had this, I can't remember his name right now. What is this PR cop from LAPD that does a lot of the press relations stuff? So I have a video of me shutting that down for a minute. Then he took him over into onto the behind the crime scene, into the gas station, and spread his propaganda to these people. But see, the thing was, the call was a black dude with a gun, a black male with a gun. And see, this dude, I seen him. He had been down there for a while before this happened. He wasn't a black dude. I thought he was white, but I think it's because he was kind of maybe dirty and he had long hair, and the pictures of him, they don't look anything like what he looked like over there when I saw him. So what happened was, this is another mix-up that happened. I was talking to some people from under the bridge, and I was like, what happened? Who did the police murder? And they said, this dude, John. And I said, who's John? And they said, the dude that you see. See, what happened was he was attacking this statue. It was like outside of a smoke shop over there. They have a wooden Indian statue.
Oh, yeah.
So he'd be flipping out on that thing. And people would think like there's a laundromat and all these other stores. And the way he was, people would think, oh, he wants to fight me. He's threatening me. He's screaming he wants to kill me. He's aiming like he got a gun with his fingers at me. But he was attacking that Indian. So if you walk over and pretend like you're hitting the statue, he'll leave. Like he just hated that statue for some reason. So that was the first thing. And then he'd do that. He'd walk around with his hand and pretend like he's shooting shit up, people, cars, whatever. But he'd do that all the time. It wasn't like a threat. He never rushed up on anybody. He was mentally ill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me to know that, and these cops is always over there. I'm all over there when I can be. Everyone else over there knew that. How come the police didn't know this is just what he does? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, they say he had a bicycle part, but they released these videos now Oh, this is the other thing. The day after, I'm listening to my scanner. I'm coming from downtown, and I'm stopping by there, and I don't hear anything on the scanner about anything, you know. And as I pull in the parking lot, there's cops in there. And I have this on video too, but this is what I didn't understand at the time. They said they got a call about somebody with a gun. There was no call about anyone with a gun. What they were there for, they were going into each business asking who had access to cameras. This is 2 days or a day after the murder they did. So what they did was they were going from business to business trying to get all the camera footage so nobody could leak their murder. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From everywhere across the street, down the street, anywhere that might even possibly have it. They were checking abandoned dispensaries that they had closed down, making sure their cameras weren't there. They might have took the cameras out of there. I don't know. But it's just this full cover-up thing, dude. This cop got demoted. He worked for Southeast. I guess he was a detective, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm right. His name was Sergeant Langsdale. And he got demoted and became a sergeant from a detective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And got sent over here for what? Why? Why did they demote him? What kind of shit did he do over there? And then he kills this dude. And they won't even show the video. Like, did he point the bicycle part of the cop? Like, how long was he there? Because if you look at this thing online, there's pictures of it. Yeah, at first glance, you might say, oh, wow, does he have a gun? But then, you know, it's got this big hole on one side. It reminds you of that guy that got shot with the water hose. You know, the nozzle for the water hose.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a gun if you're there for more than a second. But if you're just pulling up ready to shoot, then maybe it's a good excuse, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like nothing's perfect. Like I did a show. I'm sorry, man. I'll get just one more before I forget. I did a show a long time. One of the first shows we did on People's Radio was with the parents of this dude. I can't think of his name right now. The Green family. Shoot. It'll come to me. Give me a second. But anyway, he had a gun in his hand, a real gun. He never aimed it at the police. What he was trying to do is get away and throw the gun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when they caught him, he didn't have a gun or get away, and they wouldn't have caught him at all. And they just murdered him, you know? He was running or, you know, trying to get away with this gun. But his goal was to throw the gun. And I'm saying probably most times, a high percentage of times, that's what people are trying to do. Most people aren't trying to escalate whatever by dumping on the police, you know? And these cops know that, but they know that they have they can do whatever they want. They're going to get away with it. And I think a lot of them are gung-ho, man. I got videos of these pigs out there just excited because they can pull their guns. They want to be some military force, man. It's so terrible. And then they got all these groups and I mean, how do they get to investigate like this? How do they send them to investigate and decide if the cops' actions were, you know, but they don't show the people anything. They hold evidence back. They don't, you know, they don't show the full video. They show parts of it. They held witnesses there over 4 hours, man. What was that? Why would you need to hold people 4 hours? Why does it take 4 hours to talk to people about what happened? Because you're trying to cover your shit up, man. The LAPD is so fucking dirty. And this isn't the only. They do this all the time. This is standard protocol for them. This Victor Valencia thing is just, you know, probably not even the most recent anymore. But, you know, unfortunately, I just filmed a video a couple weeks ago or a week ago. They were going to gas a bunch of kids trying to do a Kobe Bryant memorial and put 2 candles out in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I saw that.
These kids wasn't no threat, man. Let them put the goddamn candles in the street and then let them all chill. And then when they leave, you're good. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about these celebrities, whatever. You know, I don't know, whatever. People really liked them. They wanted to do a memorial. What's wrong with that? It's like, why do they need to threaten with gas and all these cops surrounding helicopters everywhere? Shit's a police state, and it's only gonna get worse, man. It's gonna get way worse, and these people don't even see it coming. And until personally, they don't care. Go ahead, sorry.
Going back to when you were talking about them going back around trying to collect surveillance data, video, I believe that's what they officially call recanvassing the scene. And this is built into their protocols. And it's given a name, like recanvassing the scene. And it basically is them going back and hoovering up everything that they don't want anybody else to get. That's exactly all it is. And that's just standard operating procedure, not just for LAPD, pretty much every police force there is. That's how they stay out of jail. But, and then you talk about holding the people at the scene for 4 hours. Well, yeah, it took them that long to figure out what the fucking story is.
Yeah.
And there's no way they could let those people go until they told them what they had seen.
There was a tweet that got deleted that was talking about this girl was in her car and her friend was in the gas station, and her friend came out the gas station and the police somehow were using her car as like a shield.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know if this was before or after the shooting, because if you see the video, they sat there like 8 or 11 minutes or something, talking about, we need a shield, we need a shield. They wouldn't just go over there and get dude help. They wouldn't call an ambulance till they can get a shield and go over there and kick the bicycle thing, supposedly, from his hand.
Yeah.
But they didn't see it there. You know what I mean? You never see it. That could have been something they just found. I mean, he had it in his hand. We saw it in his hand. But, I mean, did he aim it at the cops? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. It just seems like they're so crooked.
And like you said, and there they are recanvassing the scene, fucking vacuuming up any video that exists. If anything, it should be the DA out there getting that shit, not the cops.
I don't know. They need somebody other than the pigs to investigate the pigs, man, because it's just so unfair. They always get off. So rare when they don't get off. First of all, it has to be a huge national case. You know what? They arrest cops for taking pictures of people in the men's restroom of sporting events. They arrest cops for touching dead women's breasts. They arrest cops for lying about getting shot by a sniper. I mean, they fire them for all these things. You know, they fire them as fall guys for a program where you label people gang members so you can get more, arrest on your quotas and stuff. But what they don't arrest cops for is murdering innocent, unarmed people.
Yeah, because that's okay. All this other shit making us look bad, that's not okay. It just reveals the core mission, I think.
I don't know, man. It's like I seen people standing over in that area doing similar stuff, like trying to fight with the air, yelling. Maybe somebody's on drugs or something. And I'm terrified. I'm like, wow. If these cops come, what are they going to do to this person? You got to always have cameras on people. I mean, it's like it has to happen. Everybody got to just train themselves. If you see a cop and they messing with somebody, you're going to have some time taken out your day because you got to film them. We should all think like that. It's just the way it is. We got to protect each other because we probably want someone there protecting you if you were in that situation.
Yeah.
You don't got to talk shit. You can just stand there. You can hide somewhere and film. Just make sure. It's better if they know they're being filmed. It's better if they know or believe they're being live streamed.
Well, I think the other thing that is really such a huge part of the problem now that's only gotten worse since Reagan is there was a time when district attorneys were not sleeping with the fucking cops. You know, there was a time when DAs were interested in actual justice, and that's long gone. That is so long gone. I mean, look at some of the people who are in federal politics now that were DAs, like Harris and, you know, a couple other people. Like, these people are not who you should be electing to high office. These people are serious game players who have been exposed to every side of the game. It's not somebody you want to promote. Yeah, I think that's a big issue. I mean,
Definitely.
and especially in a place like LA, I mean, who the fuck would want to be district attorney of Los Angeles these days? My God, that's an insane fucking job to have.
Some fascist cop.
See, this is what I mean. There's such a crossover now. You can't really discuss a Metro Police Force without discussing the district attorney. You can't do it anymore. You know?
Yeah.
That's where I get my Hunger Games reference. You know, like, you're fucked. You run afoul, you're not in a good place. Doesn't matter who you are unless you're one of them, but then you never get charged in the first place. So, you know,
man,
it's getting tough. And then you bring in stuff like profiling. I mean, Toronto has had proven profiling issues, carding, other stuff. Toronto, Canada. So imagine what the fuck's going on in Philly and LA and Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
And New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. You know, so
Man.
it's a lot. You're right. I mean, it is a police state. That's what I see from where I am. It ain't that bad here, anywhere, but there's no need. You know, there's absolutely no need for it. Doesn't seem to matter down there, but, you know, I mean, you can't escalate and expect more peace. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I look at these, once again, like how I just said, you look at how these politicians flip everything they believe in 180 degrees, all their policies, everything, depending on what's going on. We just had all these, what was it, in Virginia, I think, all these white supremacists with guns and 3 black dudes with guns, and they went to the state capitol. No, that was, where was that
Tennessee, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was you're right.
I thought it was Tennessee.
Yeah, it was, or Alabama or Tennessee. Yeah, you're right. Wherever it was, everybody knows. All these guys went up in there. And I'm like, nobody was talking about it such a threat, you know?
No,
they didn't have police, you know, trying to get their guns from them and all this stuff. It was just like, oh, bunch of cool white dudes, you know, with Confederate flags. And I guess they didn't bring their Confederate flag. And there was 3 black dudes there, because every time they say, oh, yeah, it wasn't white supremacists, look, I see the picture of the same 3 black dudes with their guns and their American flags. So that was pretty cool. Fucking sellouts. But, yeah, the last time some black people did that in California, the NRA and the Republicans, as I keep saying online, passed the Mumford Act, which banned open carry in California.
Yep.
It's just like, what the hell? What the hell?
That's right. Imagine if the Panthers showed up in Tennessee.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody, you know, it was, you go Space McKitty on Twitter. She had said, How do we stop all these? How do we stop all these guns? You know, how come people won't pass gun legislation? What can we ever do? And I was like, just have a bunch of black cats go to the state capitol, armed, and they'll pass the laws immediately. That's it's ridiculous, man.
No,
These dudes were a threat. Anything could have happened. They just didn't have no opposition because, well, you have some riders out there with guns that they're going to be outnumbered because you always got the peaceful liberals coming through saying, we don't want none of that. You know, let the Nazis do their thing. Just sing them away.
Well, I could
Hold
draw
a picket sign like a real warrior. Don't go over there.
I could draw a parallel from history. It's not.
I could draw many parallels from history.
It's not too flattering, but I mean, there was a time in a Central European country about, let's see, more than 80 years ago now. And, you know, there were two distinct groups. Well, there was a directionless middle running the show, and the group on the left knew that there was no way they could do something like that. But then the group on the right figured, we can, and they did. And all they did is get stronger because of it. And it didn't take long till they were running the show. And then all those fucking yahoos who showed up at legislatures were all suddenly now people with badges and guns and uniforms. So, yeah, maybe think about that, America.
Man, people don't know history. They don't even know, like, recent history in the past 10, 20 years, a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
They don't pay attention. They forget really quick. They'll make their side right, no matter if their side is equally wrong, just as wrong, doubly wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, we're never wrong.
Man, you have to admit your people are scum, and you got to admit the other people are scum. That's what I always say. The politicians are only telling the truth when they're talking shit about each other, because they're all corrupt and crooked and terrible and liars and scum. So yeah, when they're calling each other out on that's like the only time you should be believing them. And
it's the tip of the iceberg anyway.
Yeah. They're not going
to... Yeah, they're not going to really light one of their own up because they all know where the fucking bodies are buried. So,
exactly.
You know, let's get serious. Like, the only person I could see really doing something like that would be Trump.
All the crimes he's committed, he's going to get everybody. I mean, he already does. Look at the whole Biden thing. Like we said, it's just as corrupt, but his kids do the same shit. So yeah, I mean, why does Ivanka have voting machine patents?
Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, come on now, that's not a conflict. Why are they even there? They couldn't even pass security clearances.
Oh well, you know, plus everything's been, you know, so cool in the Middle East since 1948. But you know, we got Smiley Boy here who had a $30 million deal before he came up with his great peace plan, eh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he solved it.
Then you got a bunch of rich white assholes calling each other elites like they're not elite just as much. It's so ridiculous, man. Oh, don't trust the elites. Oh, no, you're the elite. You're the elite. You're all the elites, you dumb fucks.
Well, that's just ordered populism, man. It's coming into the mainstream. That's how it's done. You know? Because when you look at the economics, there's a very, very small percentage that has most of everything. So they have to become the enemy within. They're the most identifiable. They're the ones who can withstand the attack best than anybody else. So play this game. You know?
Yeah, I think the Republicans and Democrats should just all vote for Bloomberg because he's just like Trump without the clown suit, I think.
This is starting to scare me with Bloomberg, with what's happening here. You know, this is starting to look like exactly what Trump did.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just like Trump, but without the clown suit. I mean, because yeah, he's going off on Trump's looks and his hair and his fat and all that.
Well, I mean, just the way it's coming together, though. You know, I mean, he was always somebody known as a New Yorker. Then he was not involved. Then he may be involved. Then he wasn't involved. Then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, comes this statement about how much of his own money he's going to spend.
Yeah, he's going to buy himself an election. Or he's going to try to.
These are all things that Trump did to a T.
Bloomberg is corrupt. Why would you want a billionaire to represent a bunch of people who will never be billionaires? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, they represent the top point something percent. Why would you want them representing you? They don't have your best interest at heart in any way, shape, or form. They didn't even consider you humans. I mean, you're just like the peons. You're like the scum, the leftovers that got me my money. You know what I mean? I don't know even how to describe it. They're all terrible people. Why would you vote for any of these assholes?
But I'm just starting to see an alignment of the exact same phenomenon happening, just on the other side.
The Democrats changed rules so Bloomberg could be in the debates, dude.
Yeah.
How much you think that cost him?
I heard something about $200 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty bold if it's public. I thought it would be some back-channeled stuff.
Well, I don't think there's been a statement from the DNC with those numbers, that's for sure, but...
Oh, okay, I see.
But I mean, still, it's... I mean, if you want to be totally disconnected and analytical about it, from a Democratic viewpoint, you have to look at it. Look how well it worked. The message and the messenger is another issue, but look at the way that it worked. And remember back when there was like a dozen fucking people for the Republican nomination, former governors, former senators, and this fucking orange clown. And all he did was talk about all his money and all his renown. And it worked. Well, Bloomberg can sure as fuck do that in a democratic situation. You have to consider it. It's possible. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it is similar. It's just disgusting to me that this is even possible. Like, I mean, Bloomberg should be able to run just like anybody else, but he should be required to have equal time, equal airtime, equal everything. I mean, why wouldn't we want people that know what we're going through, that are going through things like us, to be in positions like that, rather than rich assholes that don't have our best interests at heart, don't even know what it's like to have to deal with that, don't even know what it's like to have to pay a bill, really, you know?
But the election is now a revenue generating cycle.
Yeah, it's like a football Super Bowl game or a wrestling event. It's like a spectacle.
Yeah.
They got all the graphics on there and the people's faces up there and the commentators, and the same people start to get their, you know, new shows every year that they're on about the elections. It's an
industry.
It's a freak show.
It's an industry.
Well, it needs to not be.
Oh, I know. But again, Citizens United, when you have somebody like the Koch brothers who are willing to spend hundreds of millions of dollars just to get a few decisions in a few key places. It's not the same game anymore on any scale. Everything changes, man.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it used to be there was a limit on how many TV stations a corporation could own. That's long gone. Now you got corporations that own 30 or 40 stations for different networks.
And a ton of content, yeah.
And they can afford to throw around, say, 50, 80, $100 million to get their point across. Maybe just even on one state, if it matters to them enough. And there's no limitation to that now, legally. That's a fucked place to be.
Yep.
Although I have seen a couple ads from a group, what the fuck are they called? The Lincoln Group? Something like that.
That's a conservative group. They're getting a lot of traction because Kellyanne Conway's husband, George Conway, is a member of that group.
I've seen a couple of their ads, and they're not playing games.
No, they got the one about the Christian one, and they got the one about Trump. Yeah, they're trying to get the, I guess, quote unquote Reagan Republicans on their side, or Lincoln Republicans, two racist assholes. I don't know why you'd want their name on anything.
I mean,
but I think they're terrible. I mean, think about it. They stand for all the same terrible shit. They just don't like Trump, so it's like they're worried that the Republicans are gonna become the party of Trump and just be a sideshow forever. But they're still bad people, Glenn. They stand for a lot of terrible things, just like, you know, Bush or Reagan did.
No, I'm not saying they're anything to be proud of. What I'm saying is for them as a private entity to come up with that kind of production and budget and basically not being accountable to fucking anybody is a real problem. And it shouldn't be happening, but Citizens United.
Yeah, and it happens on both sides of the aisle too.
Oh, sure it does, but it shouldn't be happening, period.
Oh, no, definitely not. But I'm just saying, because you got then you got the Democrat people be like, well, that's the conservatives, that's the Republicans, they're all split up. Yeah, your people do the same stuff.
I mean, before Citizens United in 2010, before that in Canada, Stephen Harper, as a private citizen, tried to do the same thing in Canada. And the Supreme Court of Canada said, no, that's not happening.
Bravo, Canadian Supreme Court.
There's still, every once in a while they make noise about it up here, but it just doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah, they don't keep us stupid in the United States for no reason. I mean, they do this for a purpose.
Well, I think the truth of it is because national political campaigns for dirty money have become such a big deal. It's not cost effective to do it in Canada. There's not enough population.
Oh.
Has to be a specific issue to get that kind of attention. I mean, we got a fair amount of the dirty attention last year, but it's nothing like the U.S.
Yeah, it's going to be bad, man. I know we got to wrap soon, but like we've said before, or I've said before, I fear the person who comes after Trump, that these people view as a savior, who's going to be able to get away with anything they want, as the people applaud him on atrocity after atrocity, with a good reason, right?
Well, there is one thing that can alter that timeline, though, and that's how much will Trump continue to weaken the U.S. in the rest of the world. That will, sooner or later, have a difference at home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess it depends how much longer he's in office, and then,
Yeah.
if he's not going to win, what's he going to do before he goes out?
Well, I would say internationally, as far as people take the U.S. seriously, if he loses in 2020, there's a chance the U.S. can save themselves with the rest of the world. If he gets reelected, that's not happening. China and Russia will be fucking laughing.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the world is one thing, but here, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're still going to have another terrible person that's going to allow the police militarization to escalate, keep the internment camps going, but with a smile, more bank bailouts, more money to the rich people. Basically the same shit Trump's doing, but just
more shit you can't pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah. To the wrong people. For the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sick of it. I wish everyone was.
Yeah, it's taken a while. Again, meteor strike 2020.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else, Glenn?
No, that's it. It's been a while since I've been on any show.
I know. So,
it's okay.
Are you going to go ahead and announce the return of the View Up Here today, or are we going to wait till another time?
Oh, another time is an understatement.
See, I got everybody excited, and then I let them down. I tried, though. Yeah, we got everything hooked up, Glenn. We just didn't run the show through the equipment today because we didn't run a test on it. So we'll test it eventually, and then we'll supposedly be more professional sounding, maybe. Maybe
Okay.
not. Who knows? But at least you'll be able to hear what I hear when I play audio and stuff. That's important. So cool.
All right.
So yeah, thanks to all the millions of people listening, especially to the Pope, our number one listener.
Yep.
Fight the power, and we'll be back soon. We won't be out a whole nother year. And that's it.